Yo, 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 it's your boy Professor Pip is back in this bitch, trying to get active on these charts on I Trade the Asian. Oh man, it's been a minute since I've been in the building. And made a video last week dealing with some personal issues. Had a little bronchitis, had my chest all jammed up. So I was able to, I did my weekend analysis, but I was not able to do a video. I wasn't able to go live throughout the week, really congested, struggling to breathe. I still got a couple issues going on right now. Not as bad as it was last week, but enough to where I can come and get active on these charts, make a quick video for you guys. Yeah, get you guys a video out. This one right here, I just wanted to kind of go back and run through trade breakdown analysis from last week. Pretty much only on AU. Haven't really had anything else on any other pair. Really just kind of tightened down and stuck to AU for the most part last week, especially not feeling well. Like I said, I did go through and mark up the other charts, but I wasn't trying to click through all that, and all that. I was struggling to breathe, and everything was just, struggle boat. So what I want to do is kind of just go back to the weekly open, and just kind of show the thought process, where I got in, why I got in, and things I was looking at. How I felt like I started off kind of shaky. Kind of felt like I was chasing the market right up and through here, and then once I kind of got down here, I kind of figured out what we was doing, where we was going, and why we was going there. Overall, I knew price action was bearish from the last time we've been on. I knew price action was bearish. Looking for the shorts. Um, what we had was price action creating lower high, lower low, potentially new lower high, and we was looking for price action to break through to continue to see if we can continue down to get a new lower low on a higher time frame. So, excuse me. Once we zoomed into excuse me, last week's price action or last week's open, what we had was a resistance identified up here in this white area here. Is 1 hour resistance, and we were looking for potential buys above this area, even though price action was overall bearish. We wanted buys above this area because on the 1 hour chart, we were making lower lows and lower highs. We got the high, low, lower high. We didn't break this low all the way to down here. So you got the lower high, lower low. This was new lower high, new lower low, came up, and we had a break of structure here. So we knew once we got it back above this point, we were breaking bearish structure to the downside, and potentially could just be looking for deeper retracements back into this supply area that sent price action down into those lows. So coming from the weekend open, I wanted to see how price action reacted once it got up here, if it got up here, and potentially take buys above this area, and everything else was just looking for potential short ideas, short possibilities. So as we came from the weekend open, went down to 15. We did have, which wasn't too necessarily important, but I think we had a level right up under here identified. I think I might delete it, but pretty much a resistance right here on the 15-minute. So we wanted to see how price action reacted. Once we got to this support level here, if we broke below, then potentially could we set up any type of shorts once we got below this area right here, 67,703, 67,700. So potential shorts between below 67,700. So when we hit this bar replay, I don't think I'll talk about all these trades. There's a lot, you got one position here, one position there, one position here, one position there. 4 positions open right here. Same thought idea, but 4 positions, 2 positions here, 2 positions there, 2 positions there. And then, as we go on, I had 3 back in over here. Yeah. So for the most part, hit that play button one time, and we see price action created a gap from the weekend open. So immediately coming to the charts, I got everything marked up. I'm thinking we going bearish. I'm looking for a place within the market that I can potentially take shorts from. I got a resistance right up here that says, okay, well, price action pushes up here and fails to break these highs, fails to go grab that liquidity, and potentially we're going to keep going down until we find our bottom that will send us up past this 1 hour resistance. So price action open, we gapped. I'm looking for buys at this point, simply because I know price action will fill this gap. So that's why the first thought process and trade setup idea here is a buy position. And what we got was, let's hit the play button, price action come in. I think at this point I don't know if I'm market executed or not on this position, but what I was looking for is price action to fill and close this gap here. And then I also saw the area that it was like the last, it would be the last lower high, but you know, if we'll continue to go bearish, this would have been the last lower high area to push down before it gave us the new low, but we don't have the new low yet. So I was looking for this gap to get filled and possibly price action to retest this area right up here. So at this point, I'm in the trade right now, and once price action started to push up, and I trade off a different brokerage. So when I was looking at it on the other brokerage, it looked like price action closed this gap already. When you look at it from trading view, it looks like the gap is not closed. So on my other brokerage, where this green line is here, I captured profits or partial profits with this position for a total of like 9 pips. Did not close partial positions just because the way it looked on my other trading platform, it just didn't look proper. I was like, did the gap close? Did the gap not close? I don't want to risk, you know, potentially price action closing that gap and then just melting off. Like I said from the beginning, overall looking for the short. So took a buy position right here, close off partials at that green line and let the rest run. So go ahead and hit that play button. And as you can see, it might have been right here that I took off profits looking at trading view. Seeing that wick go up. But then, like I said, on my other brokerage feed, looked like that gap was closed. So that right there lines up and makes sense looking at the trading view, and then the rest of it ran out. So with this next position, what I was thinking, well, if the gap closed, not necessarily rejection wick here, but maybe just a fill wick here, and then we reacted big bears from that level. So I kind of switched the buy and said, okay, well, if that was the gap closed, then potentially we could take off and go bears now. And what happens is that position gets executed, opened up in some type of the position open. I got in, and then we were in profits, and then it started to pull back immediately, simply because, in hindsight, yeah, we retested the lows and then started to bounce back to the top side. So, this first trade right here, position, took off some profits. The rest of it hit stop loss. I think I had them pulled up higher though. And the second trade right here, overall hit stop loss altogether. So at this point, we got one somewhat profits and a stop out, and then over here complete stop out. So overall, letting the price action play. Still at this point, still don't really have a clear view of where price action wants to go. As the title implies, I trade the agent. So after this right here, I'm pretty much out of the market. You know, not really winning and all the way losing. You know, yeah. So I was out of the market. My trading time was over. So pretty much all this price action plays out, and I come back to the next agent session, which would have been right over her. So now we're back to the next agent open. So at this point, what I'm seeing is price action is not able to break the lows at this point. So maybe we're gonna push back deeper and come back and retest that original idea of closing, retesting the supply area that pushed us into the lows. That is now the thought process to see, okay, well, how far are we gonna push up before we resume back bearish? So I can't remember. I had this set up here, but let's see. Play button. So we got price action pulling up. Okay. So I had, let me jump out to the 15 to 30. It's a little bit hard to break down in hindsight because I can't remember exactly what I was thinking when it was in the trades. But I think what I did was I took a fear from this high to this low and got in from 50% of this retracement. Seeing that price action continued to climb and did not break the lows looking left. So looking for the deeper retracement to go short type of idea. Go back to the 15, hit the play button, see how this played out. Ooh, immediate stop out. So we ended up coming back to fill this imbalance. So I lost right here. And then I don't know what I was doing after that because I definitely could have took them shorts. I might have just walked away from the charts. This would have been Monday night. I don't remember. Yeah, this might have been the first night. This is the night where I wasn't feeling. This is where things were feeling. I was starting to not feel too great. So I don't think I put a lot of energy and time into this on Monday, just because I wasn't really to wasn't really lose too much. And like I said at the beginning, weren't really sure of what direction price action was going in. We know we were looking for the shorts, but the way price action closed last week, closing above structure, potentially we had a chance to pull back deeper into higher time frame supply that pushes into the lows on the lower time frame. So continue to hit that play button. I don't know how I had this entry. Maybe I had it set. This is done in London, so I know I would have been on the charts at this point. So I don't know how I got into this position. I can't remember what I did, but originally from the weekend analysis, we had breakout sales below 67.7110. So potentially that's why I had that entry there. stops right above the 15-minute area that pushes into the lows. And based off the way this is looking, I took profits right up in here yet again. I might have entered over here and shorted. Yeah, because this entry wouldn't have made sense. I wouldn't have been at the charts at the London session. So my entry probably was over here. Took off profits at this green line here. 17 pips, closing profit. So the point of this trade was, like I said, coming from the weekend announcement, we were already bearish, and we were looking for areas in the market where we potentially take shorts. Tried to get in up here, was too early with the shorts and got stopped out. And it looked like I waited and put in like a sell stop maybe right down in here during the New York session, or I saw a price actually finally coming back down during the New York session to break these lows. So I was looking for the original target to get hit back down here for 60 pips. So took the shorts, closed early for some reason. Something I was been seeing in the market at the time, and it caused me to get out the trade. But took 17 pips profit there, and then sat back and waited. So at this point, we're looking for price action on that higher time frame to continue to push into deeper into this demand zone here. The kind of hard to see all this on the chart, so let me go back to the 1 hour 15 minute. Let's see if we can get through this. But at this point, lower time frames, high, low, lower, high, creating a new low. So at this point, we're looking for where the bottom of this impulsive move, expansion move to the downside, where the support will create to start potentially pushing back bullish. Ultimately, we were looking for it to, or I was looking for it to come all the way back down to 67, 111. I feel like that number has moved. I feel like that number is a little bit lower than that, but overall, I think I took these shorts in the New York session, captured pips right down here, and then sat back and waited for the next Asian session open, which would have been right over here. And coming into these shorts right here, I remember what I was thinking here. We got the high, we got the low. Potentially, we can catch a little bit of a retracement if this is a support area. Potentially catch like a 50% retracement of this impulse move to the downside. So took some buys during the Asian session, and price action wicked up. I had manual entry and then some buy limits above. So the manual entry would have been the first entry. That had 3 buy limits once we broke above. Price action wigged me in, and then immediately melted. So I was out with all those positions. I don't remember. Yeah, I was out. And then, I got all these scalp trades right down here just because I was seeing things on lower time frames that made sense to, potentially get in and execute. So I'm gonna kind of skip through these trades because it's all like 10 pips. The strategy and idea right now here, especially being this close into that target area. I was reading off the 5 minute to 1 minute and just taking a little 10 pip, 10 pip in and out type moves. So pretty much want to skip over all that because there's a lot of just back and forth. I did win 2 down here, 1, 2 over here, and I lost 2 over here. So I lost the 4 over here, made the 4 back up somewhat because I had very tight stops over here, and then I was back down 2 trade ideas, 2 positions, I guess you want to call it. But overall, as price action pushed through that zone, at this point, you can kind of start. I was starting to be able to get a better idea of what the market was going to do, what it was going to do, and where potentially we were going. Simply because, like I said, from the weekend analysis, we were looking for the shorts. Price action came into the area where we were expecting it to come into, right down here with this blue line. And from here, we're looking to see, do we get the continuation to the downside, or does price action make a deeper retracement from the new lower low created from the higher time frame? So at this point, I saw we came down. We created this support area right down here within this demand zone, looking left, and we see this immediate. We see price impulse during the New York session. This is on Wednesday now, or Tuesday morning. Impulsing into the highs. So coming from here, the way I read the charts and the way I release some of this so we can start seeing what's going on over here. The way I read the charts and the way I analyze is once we break above 1 hour structure, I'm looking for a deeper retracement back into 4 hour structure or higher time frame structure of where price action sends into the lows, if that makes sense. So once we pulled back into 50% of this impulsive move right here, structure that we most recently broke right here on a 4 hour time frame, I was looking for shorts from that area. So to retest the lows. I was not expecting the price action to break the lows because, like I said, we broke above downtrend structure here on the 1 hour chart. So I'm looking for a retracement back into this level to potentially go higher, which is exactly what happened. So we had this level right here on Tuesday, identified as a 15-minute support area. What price action did on the Asian, we just completely melted into that area. And I was kind of skeptical of getting in right here at first, simply because of this big bullish impulsive move. But I knew there was a high possibility of price action pulling back before continuing to go long. So we got entered there, and price action just freaking melted all the way. I had like 3 positions open right here. The first one was the market execution position right over here. The second one was like a little bit higher, where price action retraced and tagged me in again. And then I took a third one. We made the took a third one somewhere right up in here. I ended up closing 2 of them simply because price action was just fumbling around right up in here for a while. And I left this position right here open, and then it's pushed down immediately and smacked targets. The way of how fast this price action moved, it felt like news kicked in. I didn't check the news before I got into these trades. I just felt like this was price action was set up to do for that session of the, in the market, and that's what happened. And coming from there, looking at this demand not being broken right over here, I had a buy limit down here. I had like 2 or 3 of them down here, and they both hit based off of um, trading views numbers. One of my positions didn't get executed, but based off of my broker, this big one right here in the background, it did get executed. So I had a position here. It pushed up the first time, and I got out of that one. And this big one in the background is the one that I held. I should have held longer because this is the one I ultimately played all the way out. So for this first position right here, 31 pip take profit, closed that one out. And then I had this one in the background here running still. So got entered. I didn't take any trades in between all this because I wanted to see how effective or how this position right here played out. So with this one, I originally had targets like way up here, and that's how I had it lined up. Um, with the entry way down here. So like I said, broke structure on the hourly, looking for a deeper retracement back into the 4 hour zone that pushed us into the lows. And once we started doing this right here in the New York session, I trailed the stops to where this green line was because we started breaking structure, making higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, 15 minute, 5 minute. And this green line right here is where I got trailed out. I was nervous that supply was starting to take over. I did see liquidity start to build above these levels here, but I also saw price action wick into this area right here, already bearish. This could have easily been a retest of the level here to continue to push us bearish. So as we came over here, I sat through all this price action right here, and price action wasn't really moving. So I was like, I'm gonna just trail the stops, um, keep my profits. If we break, then I know continue to look for the shorts. If we continue to go bullish, I know to come back and potentially probably try to get back in, but I didn't get back in for buys as we push into this level. And as we continue to hit the play button, I got tagged out. Next Asian session open, didn't take any trades, and then price action just took off. I didn't take any trades right here because by the time I got to the charts for the next Asian session, it was gone. We pulled away from the level, and there was not really any retracement to say, okay, well, I'm gonna hop in successfully right here, and this is a good area to get in. You kind of had a slowdown area right here, but at this point, from this high to this low, I was already framing shorts. So I had a first position here. The second 2 positions was up at this red line. Um, yeah, and then as you can see, price action flapped me on all 3 of those positions. Ultimately, what I learned on that last trade was how impulsively we came into the zone. I probably should have waited until price action started to slow down like it did here to see if we're going to come back bearish instead of just expecting it to come back bearish. So with these positions here, I was expecting to come back bearish simply because, like I said, by this time in the market, at this point, I started to catch on to what price action was doing. I started to back away from the quick scalp 10 pip and dip moves, and I was trying to hold a little bit longer. So I was expecting this position right up here to be an area within the market to where I can hold. So overall, quick little recap. Bearish coming from the weekend analysis. If we got below 67, 710, definitely was looking for continuation shorts. Was able to catch a few shorts and buy scalp positions within. Once we got to the bottom, created the support level based off of the 4 hour trend. Saw price action close above structure here, retest, took the short to the retest back into demand, then started taking buys away from the demand zone. And if I would have held that one that I caught from think it was Wednesday night, Thursday night. Had to be Thursday night. You know, you talking about 129 pips. I got out somewhere around 45 pips. So it is what it is. Weekend analysis coming up next. I wanted to get this video out simply because I knew I was struggling in the beginning of the week. Not necessarily struggling, but I didn't have a clear view or clear idea of where I thought the market was going, but I was still taking trades. As it got deeper within the week, I started to realize and see where price action was stopping, where price action was respecting, where liquidity was building, where orders were going, and I was starting to capitalize on trades. So more or less what I wanted to point out with these were these trades here in the end of the week versus these ones at the beginning of the week, but I felt like I needed to put these beginning of the week trades in to kind of set up the idea and thought process to show how I got to where I got to at the end of the week. So very, very, very choppy right up in here. The thing to learn from to not have to take all these struggle boat trades up in here is to sit back and wait. So what necessarily should have been done instead of taking all these little individual scalp trades, not to say that you can't be profitable or make things happen, make money from the scalp trades, but overall you want to try and take the best possible scenario. And what I was doing last week was, you know, like I usually always do, is not wait. I'm a little bit impatient when it comes to setups because I can see them. I see the setups in the market moving before it actually does, and that's my problem. Not that I don't have the patience to wait for the setup to happen. It's just I know once price actually start doing a certain thing, I know what's about to go down. So I'm like, get in, instead of waiting for a price action to show me, okay, now I'm ready to do what you was already thinking I was going to do. So original positions, best entry would have been here, waiting for price action to fully retest supply. That pushed us into the lows. So you got the high, low, lower high, lower low. So Tuesday or Monday night, Asian session shorts would have been the best play. And then once I would have saw Wednesday night, price action, Thursday morning, New York session not breaking lows, definitely potentially looking for these scalps back into the lows and then the longs. So potentially three good setups here. This being the first one, the second one being the retracement back into the lows, and the third one going back to retest the highs that sent us into the lows, which is what played out. So overall, not a bad week. Did end up in profit, but going forward, I would like to, you know, try to stay away from, not to say that I don't want to take the short, the scalp position, but I would like to keep away from taking so many, especially when price action isn't really showing its hand of where it wants to go just yet. So, you know, down in here, I had all these freaking scalp trades. This is just sitting in front of the charts and just taking positions as they came by reading the 1 minute and the 5 minutes. So um that's pretty much all I got for this video. Gonna be setting up with the weekend analysis coming up here shortly. Currently sitting in a low position on Bitcoin. Yeah, I got an entry on Bitcoin right here. It is very, very, very bullish. What I am looking for is the retracement to fill or to hit this correction all the way back and down here, which I don't think is going to happen completely right now, but the way price action was setting up, there was possibility of a setup being there. So I marked up the chart and let price action react from where I wanted to react from. Ultimately, if we don't break this little 15-minute level right here, then there's still a high possibility to continue to go bullish. So I will be making note of that. If we can't break these levels back in up in here, definitely we'll be getting out. But overall, right now, so far so good. Had an entry back in up here, wicked up, came back down. Now we're pushing back into profit. So slowly but surely, if I see we come down here and wick and don't break this low, or don't break, or do break this low and don't break this one, or come to this level and completely stall out, 15-minute time frame, this is our support area here. 1 hour time frame, this is demand zone that pushes into the highs. So potentially respecting supply right now, coming back to retest demand right down here. We'll definitely have stops in the profits by the time price makes it all the way down here. If it makes it all the way down there, and just move on from there. But I signed up, or I'm signing up for one of them challenges. Got me a 5K challenge I'm signed up for. So if the videos, you know, you come to the channel, videos start not to be out as much. It's not that I ain't trading or I ain't on the, you know, paying attention to the game. I'm just focused on this I got a 1 month challenge, Aerial FX. You don't know Aerial FX, anything about it, you can YouTube or research them on YouTube. They got a challenge coming up September 12th through October the 12th. Funded challenges, the highest three, the best three performers win the challenge. I'm trying to come in at number one. So your boy about to get active, analyze these charts, get that weekend analysis ready so I can get it out to you guys. Thanks for watching. That's all I got for this one. It might have been a little confusing trying to, explain that AUD. Some of these positions, I do not remember exactly how I got in, why I got in, but just looking at the price action instruction, the way things are set up, I can kind of, tell you what I was looking at, especially, mostly sticking to the agent session to formulate trade ideas. So that's what it is. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm out of there.